All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Thank you again for joining me for today's Nimble training webinar. Again, my name is Vivian, and I'm going to be walking you through the main Nimble app. And today we're going to go through the entire application, plus our browser extension and email integration. And again, if you have any questions or feedback during today's session, please type them into the questions box, and we'll cover them at the end of today's session. And before we get started on the main presentation, I just want to take a couple seconds to review what Nimble is for anyone new here. And so as you may know, Nimble is an easy-to-use CRM that works for you in Office 365, Google Workspace, and everywhere else you work. It automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, email inboxes and calendar appointments, and it also integrates with social media and with almost 200 different SaaS applications. All right, so that's Nimble. Let's get into the main Nimble app now. Let me make that full screen so you can see. Okay, so here we are on Nimble's Today page. This page was designed to allow you to completely customize it to your specific needs and the role you play in your company. And I'll show you a little bit more about that later in the presentation. Before the Today page starts populating with data, we have to make sure that we have connected everything that we need to Nimble. And so we can do that by going all the way to this top right corner and clicking this icon. Right here it has the letter V on it because my name is Vivian and that's my first initial, but it might have a little letter I on it, standing for information, I believe, or if you've put your name in Nimble already, it might have your first initial as well, or a profile picture if you have one. So you just go up to this top right icon and then scroll down a little bit to Networks and Imports. And that's where we can check if our email is connected and we've imported all of our contacts. So here we are on that page. So let's first make sure that your email account is connected to Nimble. And we can do that by going to email accounts here and then connecting your email. And I do want to say that we support all emails for as long as they are IMAP. And you can see here that's IMAP, IMAP. We don't support POP, but if your email is POP, you can try contacting your email provider to see if they can enable IMAP for you. And so that's something to take into consideration when you're connecting your email account. So that's email. If you're using Microsoft 365, like a lot of you today are, we have great news because it's really easy to connect your email and calendars and even import your contacts with one click. So if I scroll down a little bit here and I click this button, if you have all three of these checked, we have email, contacts, and calendar. If you have all three boxes checked here, you can just click Connect to Microsoft 365, and it'll create this little pop-up for you. It made an error for me, but that's only because I already have my Microsoft 365 account connected. But if you don't, it'll walk you through like the prompts for importing your contacts. And I do want to take this opportunity to explain that if you are importing a lot of contacts, we want you to make sure that you tag all of your contacts as they go into your database. And this is really helpful for making sure that you and your teammates know where all of your contacts came from. This will just help with long-term organization. All right, and so if we scroll down a little bit, here we have Google Workspace or Gmail. And it's a very similar process. Just click that here and you have the option to connect your calendars or connect your email and contacts. And if you press that button, again, it'll have like this pop-up thing here, and then you can go through the prompts, and it's just as easy as that to connect these accounts. And so that's connecting your emails. And I did mention that Nimble is integrated with social media. We are directly integrated with Twitter, and that means that after you connect your Twitter account to Nimble, you'll be able to see all of your conversations that you've had with people on Twitter directly inside Nimble together with your email conversations. And I can show you exactly what that looks like later when we get into contact records. So if I go down here into social networks, you can just click plus connect social network and then connect your Twitter if it's not connected already. Unfortunately, Facebook, together with Instagram and LinkedIn, made the business decision a few years ago to close their APIs. So we and a lot of other, I guess, social media integrated softwares are currently not able to directly integrate with them. But we do still make it possible for you to use Nimble on all of your favorite social media networks with our browser extension called Nimble Prospector. And I'll cover what that looks like a little later in the webinar. But I do also want to say that it's possible to import your LinkedIn connections into Nimble by downloading them from your LinkedIn account and then using our CSV import to bring them into Nimble. And on the topic of CSV imports, let me show you where to find that. So if we go all the way back up to this Networks and Imports page, here we have the Quick Connect box. And you can see that the second option here is CSV. So if you just click that, you can upload any CSV and import all your contacts into Nimble that way. But we do want to make sure that whatever CSV you're importing is clean and not and easy for the import wizard to read. If you're importing from LinkedIn, we already have CSV mappings that will automatically detect your contacts, but we also have those mappings for a ton of other applications. So it makes switching over from another CRM or importing your contacts from somewhere else, like for example, MailChimp, really, really easy. You can just click the mapping and it'll automatically detect your contacts in that CSV file that you're uploading. And if you have any questions on that, I can go over that in our Q&A session. And so that covers our Networks and Imports page and importing your contacts. So that means that we can go back to our Today page, because now that your email and calendars are connected and your contacts have been imported, this Today page will start populating with all of the valuable and business information that you need on a daily basis. So the Today page, again, is completely customizable. You and everybody else in your company can pick what widgets you want to see. And there are a couple ways to do this. Your widgets can be moved around, removed, and duplicated. And you can either do this with this Manage Widgets button. So let me scroll all the way to the top. It's right here, this little gear icon in the box that says Manage Widgets. So if I click that, it opens up this interface here. And I can easily drag and drop all of my widgets however I would like them. So just click on this little 6-dot box up here, just click it and hold, and you can click and drag. And so that's one way to customize your Today page. Another way, you can click these 3 buttons here, and again, it'll give you the option to either move, hide, or duplicate your widget. And also duplicating your widgets can be really useful if you want to see, for example, your personal calendar in one box and your team calendar in the other without having to constantly click this drop-down menu to switch every single time you'd like to change that view. It really just depends on your personal preference. Again, this Today page is completely customizable, so if you're in Nimble and you want to optimize your Today page, I invite you to kind of play around with your configurations and just see what works for you and your company. All right, so let's go in and talk about each one of these widgets. I'm going to scroll down a little bit so we can start with call logging. And that's this widget right here, just says calls with this little pink icon. And the call logging widget can help you track all of your interactions with your customers to stay on top of your follow-ups, improve your relationships, and ultimately measure your team's success. Kind of in the same vein, we have our custom activities, and this will allow you to display all of your pending, completed, and overdue custom activities. And that's this box right here with the blue icon. If I scroll up a little bit, we have the Deals widget with the green icon here. And you can check the status of all your deals and your overall pipeline while taking progressive action directly from your dashboard. And you can also click to access your engagement history and current insights on all of your key contacts on these deals. And lastly, you can update your deal statuses and add notes to existing deals, or even create new ones, all from this little widget here, which is really useful. So if I scroll down a little bit here, we have our stage funnel. And this widget will allow you to track all of your sales. You can monitor your active prospects, leads, and opportunities at every stage, and see a quick overview of your stages to know where you need to focus to meet your goals. Right below that for me is the pipeline chart with this little pink icon here. And the pipeline widget shows all of your deals organized by date. And the color coding on each bar gives you a visual of the amount for the deals you're managing by the stage they're in for that month. And also we have these different views here. We have weighted or total. You can also change the time period that you're looking at with this little calendar icon on the left side of the widget. All right, next up we have tasks. That's this one right here with the pink icon. And this widget will help you follow through on all of your to-dos. And you can see all of your open tasks, your upcoming ones, overdue, completed, important, as well as all of your team's tasks if you open up this drop-down menu. We have all of these different options for you. And if you're managing a team, this is really useful to see where your team is at. As an individual, you can see where you are at with this task widget here. Then up top, we have events or calendar, whatever you'd like to call it. It's got this purple widget here. And the events widget will allow you to review your meetings for the day. You can also select from the drop-down menu to see all of your calendars or just the ones you've connected to Nimble. Next up, we have signals, and that's on the right-hand side here, as you can see. And in this widget, you can see how your contacts are interacting with you on Twitter. And this is also a really useful feature if you, for example, do social selling, or you just work a lot in social media in general. Maybe you're working with influencer marketing or something like that. This is a very, very useful widget to keep at the top. And then lastly, we have our highlighted contacts here. And this widget will give you the option to see your important contacts based on parameters you've set, such as your title, location, company, or interests, and to personalize what comes up in this highlighted contacts box here. You can edit the search criteria with contact keywords in your Nimble settings. And as a review, you can access your settings by going to the top right and then going to settings here. And so I'll just show you what the highlighted contact settings look like. So if I go here and then on this left-hand side, click highlighted contacts. Here we can see the keywords that I have selected. And if I just click in here, I can edit them. So say I'm not looking for CEOs anymore, I can just take that out. And if everything is properly separated with commas, it'll search for all of these keywords in like the bio of my contact or other parameters. Okay, and so that's the highlighted contacts widget. And speaking of contacts, I think that this is a perfect time to go on to our contacts page. All right, so the contacts page here is probably the one that you're going to be on the most. Nimble has a lot of awesome features, but it is a contacts database at its heart. And you can easily select if you want to see all of your contacts, just people, just companies, people you've marked as important, people you've recently viewed. And then I'll just kind of go through all of these. We have recently added, recently connected, or recently contacted, sorry. People you have stay in touch reminders with, and also people that you've removed from your database. So that being said, let's now review what an individual contact record looks like in Nimble. So let's go to my important contacts. let's take a look at John's contact record. And if you don't already know, John Ferrara is our CEO. Okay, so let me just load that up. Sorry, my internet's being a little bit slow today. Oh, oops, sorry. Let me go back there real quick. Okay, there we go. Sorry for that really long loading time. Okay, so here's John's contact record, and you can see all of his basic information. We have a little profile picture here, and since I've marked him as important, we have a yellow star on the bottom right corner of his picture. We have his name, his role in the company he works at, and we also have all of his social media handles here as well in little icons, as well as a short bio, which is optional. And it's also very easy to perform certain actions from just like this top left corner of the contact record. So as you can see, you can easily add a note by clicking that button. You can exit out like that. You can also log past activities or schedule future activities with this person. You can send an email, and you can also pick from templates here as well. And lastly, you can also associate this person to a deal or create a new deal from within the contact record here. If we go down just a little bit to the next box over, you also have the ability to set up privacy here. So your contacts can be private. Let me open up this drop down. So they can be private to just you. You have the option to share them with everyone in your company. You can make them viewable to everyone but not editable, or you can set up custom privacy. Now, our custom privacy groups are really useful if you want each of your teams or departments to have different sets of permissions, and this can really be useful for speeding up onboarding. So, for example, every time you're adding a new sales rep to your team in Nimble, you can just add them to your sales team settings, and they'll have the exact same set of permissions as everyone else on your sales team, or some other previously determined set of permissions. Okay, so back to the contact record. The next option here is to set a stay in touch reminder. And right now I have it set to monthly, but we also have weekly, quarterly, annually, or you can make a custom time period. So maybe like every 3 weeks or every other month, something like that. And it's also really easy from here to reset the reminder or completely remove the reminder. And then last up in this box, we can set ownership for the contact. So right now I have it set to myself, or I can give it to another team member, or I could leave it unassigned. Sorry. And then down here, if I scroll down a little bit, you can also review, edit, and create new tags, as well as qualify leads using fields like rating, status, source, and type. Oops, sorry, let me scroll down just a little bit more. Here. So you can edit your tags with this little button here. And if you'd like to remove a tag, you can just click this little X. If you want to add a tag, you can start typing it. If it already exists, then it'll just show up. So So I have a tag called T names. For a previous webinar, I just made an example of using segmentation to find people whose names start with T. So I have this tag here called T names. As you can see, I started typing it and it automatically showed up in this drop-down menu. But if it doesn't already exist, you can just type it in here and then add the tag, and it'll save it as a new tag. All right, so this is the left-hand side of the contact record. So moving on to the right-hand side, we have interactions here. And this is where you can see the entire history of interactions with this person, including all of your notes, your emails, like I mentioned, your Twitter messages, deals, and any other activities. And as you can see, this interactions tab can get a little overwhelming. So there are a little there are a few different ways that you can view this. So either you can view all of your interactions, like this here, which is a little bit overwhelming, or you can go to just the notes, or if you go into activities here, you can pick the kinds of activities you'd like to view. So maybe I only want to see calls that I've had, or the deals that this person is associated with. I can look at that here. If I go into messages, I have only emails and like Twitter DMs. And this is where you can view your Twitter messages as well as this all tab here. And then last up, we have the deals tab, and this will just show all the deals you have associated with this contact. Okay. Next up, we have the data fields tab. And in this tab, you can create up to 5 custom tabs, and under each of them, up to 200 individual custom fields. And all of these fields can be then segmented. It's ideal to use for any specific information that you'd like to record. And also, as a review, data fields can be configured from settings. So again, settings is up here in this top right little bubble. And then data fields. And here you can customize all of those fields in the data fields tab. So let's go back to the contact record. And here you can see that you can also associate files to your contact. And these files can come from OneDrive, Google Drive, Dropbox, or you can upload them from your own computer. Okay. And so that is the main contact record. There are a few things that I didn't cover, but if you have any questions about that, I can go over that at the end. But let's go on to segmentation. And this is another very, very useful feature. So you can launch segmentation by either clicking onto the main search box in the contact record up at the very top, segment search there. And you can see it opens up this page. Or you can go to the left bar, like this dark blue bar here, and then go to the bottom, click plus, add segment, and again, it takes you to the exact same page. And you can search across many different data fields to help you organize your contacts into lists. And once you've organized your contacts into a list, you can take bulk actions, send group messages, and set follow-up tasks. As an example, let's create a search using the following criteria. So I'm going to click plus add contact filter. Let's look for people who were last contacted by my team. And then let's only narrow it down to people with email addresses recorded. So I'll put email is not empty, and that's just a long way to say that they have an email address. Okay, so now I've narrowed it down to this list of people. And let me show you, if we click this box at the top, I have everyone selected. And these are all the things that you can do with this list. So you can mark them as important or not important. You can add a tag to all of them. And this is really useful if you'd like to access this list again. You can also save the segment search. It depends on what you prefer. But you can add a tag. You can set stay in touch reminders with all of them. And here we have more actions. You can change the owner, change privacy, or add to a workflow. Oops, you can merge them. I don't recommend you do that unless you absolutely need to. And you can also export them in different ways as well. And like I mentioned, you can also send them a group message. So let's go into group messaging from here. So click send a group message, and it'll take you to this menu here. So Nimble allows you to send targeted email messages to 100 to 300 contacts per day, depending on your plan. And this is a great way to send targeted sales outreach or marketing messages to lists of your contacts. And a really common question that we get about Nimble's group messaging is if it can replace a marketing automation system. The short answer for that is no. Our group messaging was designed to be used in conjunction with our segmentation feature and to allow you to send targeted email outreach. The biggest advantage of Nimble's group messaging is that the messages are sent from your personal email address, so they'll appear as if they were sent from you and not an email marketing system or some like bot email. And this is also really useful if you want to stay out of the dreaded promotions tab on like Gmail or something. So let's go into group messaging. When you're composing emails in the group messaging window, you have the option to use merge tags. And these are really good for keeping your message professional and personal. So if I click plus add merge tag, I can put in the first name merge tag, and in the message, it'll look like this, but in their email inbox, it's going to grab their first name and insert that here. So if I wanted to say, hi John, it would say this here, but when it shows up in John's inbox, it'll show John. All right, and so that's merge tags. You can also attach files and use our formatting options to further customize your email. So here we can click this and attach a file from your computer. We can also select a template to use, or if you're happy with what you've typed up here, you can save it as a new template. Also, to set up your email signature, let me show you how to do that right now. You can go to Settings. Again, that's this top right bubble up here. And then just go to Settings from this menu here. On the left-hand side, if we go down to Email Settings, and then click Email Signature, from this little text box here, you can either create a new email signature or just copy and paste an existing one and then save it. So let's go back to our group message. Before you send your outreach, you can also send yourself a test message with this button down here. Next to send to list, you can send yourself a test message. And this is just good practice for making sure that everything looks good, all of your links are working, you don't have any typos, etc. And after you've sent your message, you can review the insights on clicks and opens. And in that report, you can see how people are interacting with your message. And this can also kind of guide you in sending future outreach as well. And so this is our group messaging feature. I think now it's a good time to move on to activities. So in our activities tab, we have the activities list feature. And this provides you with a comprehensive table of your scheduled and completed activities. Okay, so let me just configure that. Okay. So the table columns can be configured to quickly see which data is important to you. And additionally, these activities can also be exported. You'll be able to select the team members that you'd like to create a report for on the left side with this assigned to menu. So if I just click in here, I can select the team members that I'd like to view. So if I just wanted to see only my activities, I would switch that on and then apply the filter. And then now we're only seeing my stuff. All right, and you can also pick which activities you want to see specifically. We have these quick filters here, so if I only wanted to see events, I could just click that, and now it's only showing me events that I have on my calendar. Same thing goes for any of the other kinds of activities. You can also configure the table to only focus on specific fields. And lastly, you can export your report by clicking this export button here at the very top. And by having this filtered activities ticked on, it'll only show you whatever's behind this like pop-up here. And then you can just click export, and then you can download the file. All right, and so we just soft launched a new feature called workflows, as you can see up here. So if I go here, If you've already been using Nimble, you might recognize this as our leads pipeline feature. We actually just expanded upon our leads pipeline feature, and it's now workflows. So not only is this great for tracking your lead pipelines, but if you are in any other industry, this is a great way to track any of your people-related projects. And you can utilize the custom Kanban boards to create multiple pipelines and stages that suit your specific business needs. So this is a really awesome feature that we have just expanded upon. And this is really great for decluttering the rest of your pipelines. Initially, we added lead pipelines to help a lot of people declutter their deals pipeline, because having leads and people in your deals pipeline that aren't necessarily going down the sales process yet can distract you from focusing on deals that require your attention. And so this is just to help you organize your contacts in a more like task-friendly way. So in Nimble, you can add contacts to your pipelines directly from here. If you just click the plus, add contact button, you can add an existing contact, a new contact, or if you're tracking companies, you can track a company here as well. So let's go into how to customize these pipelines. All right, so if we go to modify stages, here's like kind of like a quick settings for you to change these stages here. And as you can see, if we click into each stage, you can click this little pencil icon to change the stage name. And you can also change the stage instructions here as well, just to make it easy for you to onboard new team members or explain to your team instructions that you have for certain projects, etc. This is a really great way to just make it easier to understand what's going on. And so if you've made any changes, just make sure to click the Save Changes button, and then it'll automatically refresh. And you can do that for all of these here as well. You can also add new stages at the very end or in between these stages. And if I go into settings, you can add new workflows from here. So let's click Add a New Workflow. And here we have all of these templates that you can use. Since we made workflows with the purpose in mind to make CRM more accessible to more departments than just sales, we have tons and tons of awesome templates for different departments or different roles in your business having to do with people interactions. So we have accounting, fundraising, HR, lead qualification, of course, because that's where this feature started. It started out as lead pipelines. And we also have marketing, networking, all types of templates. And so you can pick a template with pre-built stages and instructions, or you can just create one from scratch. It really just depends on you and your business needs. This is only in soft launch, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on it, but I just wanted to show you because it is a really cool new feature that we have. All right, and so that is workflows. So next up, I want to talk about deals. So here in our Deals tab, you can manage your sales opportunities, your marketing projects, your regular projects, renewals, and more, depends on your company again. And Nimble allows you to create as many pipelines as you need. The account owner can delegate permissions to different users to be able to configure and create pipelines. And to create a new pipeline, let's just go to Customize Pipelines at the top here. It's this button and this like row of 3 blue buttons. So just click Customize Pipelines at the top left, and it'll open this menu here. You can add a new pipeline by clicking plus Add Deal Pipeline. You can just start out by naming it. Since I already have an existing one, I'm just going to go in there so I can show you how it looks in this like editing menu. So the number of stages completely depends on your sales process, and you can easily drag and drop them if you need to change the order, rename them, etc. And you can just do that by clicking and pulling down or putting it up there. Just easily click and drag. Nimble also gives you the option to limit the number of days in each stage. And if I click this little pen icon here, I can change the number of days from 14 maybe back to 30. And once you've made all of your changes, just click save and it'll save there. So when we go back to the main deals tab, you can also select to see deals in your pipeline or in a list. Now to create a new deal, we'll just go to this row of 3 buttons on the top left again and click the first one that says New Deal. And from here, you can name the deal, relate the deal to multiple contacts and companies, and add the valued amount of the deal. You can also schedule an expected close date, project the probability of closing, and choose the beginning stage of your deal, all from this menu here. So let me close that out. To export your deals from Nimble, back to this row of 3 buttons on the top left, you can just click Export to CSV, and you have the option to select all deals, only the active ones, only one, only lost, or you can pick deals associated to a team member here, and then you can export that. And so on the topic of exporting deals and viewing your deals, we have reports, and this is the last thing that I'm going to go over in the main Nimble demo. So your reports enable you to build reports for your specific timeline or pipelines, during any time period you select. And we have all of these pre-existing time periods up here in our dashboard. So we have this week, last week, this month, last month, this quarter, last quarter. And you can also set custom time periods in this little calendar menu here. So here is our dashboard, and this is where you can view yourself and your team members' deal progress at a glance. In this left-hand side menu, next up we have forecasted deals. I don't really have anything here right now, unfortunately. Sorry about that, but this is where you can see all of your future deal outlooks. And again, you can sort by the pre-existing or pre-built time periods here. And then lastly, we have your deals history, and this will show you all of your historic deals, your deal results, sorting by time intervals again. And so that covers all of the main features in Nimble. So I'm going to close this out and show you how our browser extension, Nimble Prospector, works. Okay, so let me get set up here with that. So if I click this little button at the very top right of Google Chrome, and also I do want to mention that Nimble Prospector is also available for Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and Safari. So if I click this little icon here, it opens up the browser extension. So Nimble Prospector will allow you to create new contact records and update existing ones straight from anywhere on the internet. All you have to do is highlight a name or hover over a hyperlinked name, and we'll automatically find you their contact information for you here so you can build a live profile. And this works great for any social media platform or any third-party cloud-based application or website. So for people who are involved in social selling, or if you work a lot in social media, I'm sure a lot of you are very, very familiar with LinkedIn. So let me show you how Nimble Prospector works on LinkedIn. So let me open up the browser extension on this page. So like I said, you can just hover over a hyperlinked name. I already have John, so let's find someone else. Here, let's do Gerald. So if I hover over his hyperlinked name like this, as you can see on the right-hand side in the Nimble Prospector browser extension, it pulls up this contact record here. And if I click that blue button, I can just add him to my contacts. Or another way to do it is I can go into his profile and highlight his name like that, and it'll do the same thing. I do recommend doing the highlighted option because if you're on LinkedIn, it'll automatically pull up their links. If you do it this way, you'll just get like super basic contact information. So if you have the option of just doing it the highlighted, or sorry, hyperlinked name route, I highly recommend doing that. And so I can just click this blue plus button, and now he's in my contacts. And if I open up his contact record, you can see that I can do basically all the same things that I can do in the main Nimble contact record. So I can add a note, log past activities, schedule future activities, all of the fun stuff that I can do in the main Nimble record. All right, and so that covers Nimble Prospector on social media. And so if I go into Gmail, I can show you how it looks in your email inbox. So if you're using Gmail, if you have Nimble Prospector already, you can just automatically have access to the Nimble extension in your inbox. So let me scroll down and pick an email. Okay, not that one, sorry. Yeah, let's go with this one. Oh, wait, sorry, I'm like going through a little bit of like difficulty trying to find a good example email. Sorry about that. Okay, let's just go with this one. All right, so sorry about that, but as you can see, when you go into an email, it automatically opens up this little add-on here. And again, if you just click into the contacts that are associated to your email, you can do all the same things that you can do in the main Nimble contact record. Again, you can add notes, log activities, send a message, or change all your privacy options here as well. And for Outlook or Microsoft 365, it looks very similar to this, but the only main difference is that you would have to download our email add-on for Outlook, or I think you add it from Outlook, and then there will be a Nimble icon kind of like in this row of like icons up here that you can click, and it'll open up this interface for you. As you can see in Gmail, it's on the right hand side in this like vertical bar here. In Outlook, I think it would be kind of around here on this horizontal bar. Okay, and that being said, that completes the main demo of the Nimble app and the Prospector browser extension. Before I close out and go into our Q&A session, I do want to share our upcoming webinars. So every other week, we have another Nimble general overview. So you can see that we have another one on the 10th of November and the 24th. In between, we cover more specific topics. So next week, we're going over contact cleanup strategies. And the next one after that is going to be deals, pipelines, and reporting. And so if you have any more specific questions about these here, I highly recommend going into those webinars to get maybe more a specific way or a specific presentation on contact cleanup strategies, keeping your database clean, or if you need more help managing your deals or your pipelines, I highly recommend this webinar on the 17th. And you can access that on our company webinar page. And my colleague Julie is going to send that in our chat box. We also have a special offer for new users today. If you sign up today, you can get 30 days of Nimble for free with the link nimble.com/offers/webinar30. And again, my colleague Julie is going to send that in the chat box. And then lastly, before I get into our Q&A session, I do want to invite you to join the Nimble community on social media. We have Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And we also just launched our new LinkedIn product community. And this is a really great place to join if you'd like to learn more about Nimble from other like-minded users or get tips directly from the Nimble team. We post there daily on weekdays, so I really recommend that you join that if you'd like to be more involved with the Nimble community. All right, so now it is time for questions. So let me just get it set up here so I can see everyone's questions. All right, so we have a question from Paul, and they are asking, how can I limit duplications? So you can limit your duplicate contacts by merging duplicate contact records. And also, I forgot to mention that in Nimble, if you import multiple contacts who have the exact same email address, they'll automatically be merged. So you don't have to worry about having duplicates of multiple contacts with the same email. Will automatically merge contacts who have the same email for you. But if we go back to the Nimble contact record, or sorry, contact page, if you have multiple contacts that you'd like to merge, you can use our segment search feature to add a contact filter, or you can search a specific name. So say you want to search people who are named John. You can update that. I only have one, but if you had multiple Johns and you wanted to look for all of the contact records with the same name, you can just look that up and then select all of them. And from here, you can click this merge button and merge them all. I hope that helps. But again, in our upcoming contact cleanup strategies webinar, my colleague Michaela will be going over more ways to make sure you can keep your contacts database clean. I hope this answered your question for now, though. Russ is asking, can Nimble pull tasks from Microsoft Planner? It doesn't look like that's a feature at the moment, but we can definitely pass this on as a suggestion to our team. It sounds like it would be really useful to have, but currently Nimble just syncs with the calendar. But I can definitely forward that to our dev team and see if we can add that as a feature. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have another question from Char, I believe. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. And they're asking, is there time tracking functionality, such as tracking time taken on various tasks? And currently, there's no specific feature for this. However, you can see the time and date that a task was created and when it was completed. Also, if a contact is added to a certain stage of a workflow, Nimble can show the date that that contact was added to that stage and how long they've been there. And so I hope that answers your question. John is asking, can I email a contact a link to pick a time to meet on my calendar? And yes, you can definitely do that. So let's go back to our group messages feature. So here you can definitely add a link, or if I type a word, so contact me at your preferred time. I highlight this. Oops, sorry, wrong. If I highlight that and then click this link button here, you can link this text to a specific link, and that will bring them to, for example, your calendar or any other link that you'd like to associate to the text. So just type whatever text you'd like, highlight it, and then click this link button, and then you can link it to any calendars you have. Or you can just copy and paste the link directly into here. So if I just wanted to take this link and copy it, I can just put that in the message and it'll hyperlink automatically when it sends. And you can verify if your links are working by sending yourself a test message and making sure that everything looks good in your own email inbox. And I hope that helps. So Terrence is asking, what does syncing emails in Outlook do with emails in Outlook and emails in Nimble? When I send an email in Outlook, will it be tracked in Nimble? Yes, Nimble will track the emails and provide reports on that email, even if you just send it from Outlook. If your email is connected to Nimble, whether you send an email from Outlook directly or you send an email from within Nimble, those interactions will all be tracked in the contact record. So Helen is asking, does Nimble currently integrate to Outlook? And if not, is there a plan to integrate it in the near future? Nimble does integrate with Outlook. We have our Outlook add-on. So if Outlook isn't working for me currently, so I can't show you exactly how to do it, but if you look up Nimble in the Outlook add-on thing, I'm sure you'll be able to find it. I'm sorry that I'm not able to show you right now. Well, I can give it a try just once to see if it'll work. Yeah, I've been getting this page a lot lately. I don't know what's going on. So I can't show you right now, but yes, Nimble does integrate with Outlook, and you'll be able to add our add-on in your inbox. If you need further instruction on that, I can definitely connect you to our care team who can show you, but unfortunately I'm not really able to do that right now, so I apologize for that. And Terrence is also asking, how do I download the email add-on for Outlook? I'm sorry, I can't really show you right now. Let me just check to see if it's on our website though. Let's see. Okay, so I can't find it here. Let me just see about finding a link for you. Nimble add-on Outlook. Okay, so I have this support link, and Julie can send this to you in the main chat, or actually I can just send it right here. Let me get in there. All right, so I just sent this link in the main chat, and this will give you a more in-depth walkthrough on how to get the Nimble add-in for Outlook. Unfortunately, again, I can't show you because it's not working for me. I apologize for that. Okay, Helen is following up on their question, meaning can I pull contacts from my Outlook emails? Also, can I input information from Excel into Nimble? Yes to both of those. So if you'd like to pull contacts from your Outlook emails, just connect your Outlook to Nimble and you'll have the option to import your contacts from Outlook. So let me go back. So going back to the networks and imports page, where is it? Contacts, I think Outlook should be here. No, it's not. Oh yes, sorry, Outlook CSV. Yes, you can import your contacts from Outlook by using this here. And also from Excel, we do have a support article on how to import CSVs properly. Let me just find that for you. Okay, so here I have a support article, and I'm sending this in the main chat. So this support article covers, here, let me just show you what it looks like. This support article covers importing CSV files. If you'd like to import contacts from an Excel spreadsheet, just make sure to save it as a .csv file and make sure that everything looks clean. And you'll go into Nimble and then click this CSV import from the quick bar, and you can upload a CSV file. So here's an example that I have. I need to change the mappings on this, but this is kind of how it's going to show up. It'll show your column names, and then you can pick a field that it'll be associated to, and then you can import it that way. And if you have any other questions on that, like anything on the specific process, we can connect you to a care associate who can show you exactly how to do it. Just let me know if that's something that you'd like. John is asking, can we schedule one-on-one onboarding time with Nimble? Yes, I believe you can. Let me just find the link for that. Actually, in the follow-up email for this webinar, I will have a link for you to sign up for a one-on-one with one of our care associates, and they can personally onboard you. We also have daily onboarding sessions. So if I go to the Nimble website and I go to resources, demos and webinars. So we have an intro to Nimble every day at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and usually there aren't a lot of people who join these, so it's really likely that if you just hop in at 9 a.m. you'll be the only one there and you can get some one-on-one time then. But I'll also have a link for you to specifically sign up on our care team's Calendly, and we'll accommodate you in like a one-on-one onboarding thing. All right, and George is asking, when sending emails in Outlook, if the contact is not in Nimble, will it add it automatically? Can you exclude emails and or email extensions from being tracked? So Nimble and Outlook, once connected, will have a bidirectional sync, so yes. For the first question, can you exclude emails and or email extensions from being tracked? Yes, you can. I don't know all of the details about that, but for example, if I go back to our group messages feature, oops, there are no, here, let me make a new one. You can also check this little box here. It says don't track this message, and you won't get in any reports for this message or like opens or clicks or responses. So if you would like to exclude certain emails from being tracked, you can definitely do that with this option. As for doing that directly from your Outlook inbox, I'm not really sure if we have that option, so let me connect you to a care associate. Okay, Helen is asking, within the deals, can we upload information about that deal from our company server? So far, it looks like the only options I have to upload from are OneDrive, Google Drive, and Dropbox. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure what you mean by a company server. Do you mean like directly from your computer or directly from like a shared, like a shared database? I'm not entirely sure if you can, but I'll connect you to a care associate after this webinar so that we can see if they can explain that to you. Okay, so I'm gonna give it one more second, see if anyone else has any questions. And also, while I'm waiting, I do also want to say thank you so much again for joining us for today's training webinar. I do hope that this presentation was helpful for you. Please definitely feel free to let us know. I'll be sending a follow-up email. You can just reply to that, or we'll have another email address that you can contact. But yeah, let us know how we did today. And also, I do want to, again, invite you to connect with us on all of our social media, just to stay in the loop for future webinars and any other Nimble news. Oops, sorry. All right, it doesn't look like anyone else has any other questions. So thank you so much again for joining us in today's Nimble webinar. If anyone had any questions that I wasn't able to answer today, I will connect you to a care associate who can hopefully walk you through it. All right, that being said, have a good rest of your day and hope to see you in the next Nimble training training webinar. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day. Bye.